Join me as I dive into the nitty-gritty of the Mamiya RB67 and tackle the ugly truth about this popular film camera. In this video, you'll learn about the Mamiya RB67, a beloved film camera, and uncover the less glamorous truths behind its allure. I've seen so many photographers, especially beginners, get excited about the Mamiya RB67, only to be disappointed when they finally get their hands on it. They've been misled by the camera's trendy aesthetic and the romantic notion of shooting with film. But the reality is, this camera is not as user-friendly as it seems. In fact, many new users face a steep learning curve that can be frustrating and demotivating. One of the biggest misconceptions about the RB67 is that it's easy to use. Let's be real, this camera is a beast, and it requires a certain level of skill and experience to operate it efficiently. You can't just pick it up and start shooting like you would with a digital camera. It takes time, patience, and practice to master the RB67, and many photographers underestimate the amount of effort involved. Another common misconception is that the RB67 is a great camera for beginners. I've seen so many tutorials and reviews that make it seem like this camera is perfect for new photographers. But the truth is, it's not. It's a professional-grade camera that requires a certain level of knowledge and expertise to operate it properly. If you're new to film photography, I would recommend starting with a more beginner-friendly camera, like a 35mm or a point-and-shoot. Lastly, some photographers think that the RB67 is a great camera for street photography or documentary work. But the reality is, it's not very discreet, and it's definitely not the most portable camera out there. We'll get into more of the specifics later, but just keep in mind that the RB67 is not as versatile as you might think. The Mamiya RB67 is a massive camera, and I mean massive. It's heavy, it's bulky, and it's not exactly easy to carry around. And don't even get me started on the maintenance required to keep it in good working order. You need to regularly clean the lenses, the viewfinder, and the camera body itself, which can be a real hassle. Another thing to consider is the learning curve involved with the RB67. It's not just about loading the film and taking pictures. You need to understand how to use the camera settings, how to adjust the aperture and shutter speed, and how to focus manually. And let's not forget about the process of developing your film, which can be a whole new level of complexity. But what really gets to me is when photographers romanticize the RB67's quirks and flaws, saying that they're part of the camera's charm. I mean, come on, who wants to deal with a camera that's prone to jamming or has a dodgy light meter? It's not charming, it's frustrating. And then there are the limitations in terms of mobility and lens compatibility. You can't just take the RB67 with you on a hike or to a crowded city street. It's a camera that's better suited for studio work or landscape photography. And when it comes to lenses, you're limited to the Mamiya range, which can be expensive and hard to find. But what really takes the cake is when photographers try to use the RB67 for tasks it's not designed for. I've seen people try to use it for portrait photography or event photography, and it's just not the right tool for the job. It's like trying to use a hammer to screw in a screw. In conclusion, the Mamiya RB67 is not the perfect camera that everyone makes it out to be. It has its charms, but it's not for everyone. If you're considering getting into film photography, I would recommend doing your research and finding a camera that's better suited to your needs and skill level. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your experiences with the Mamiya RB67 in the comments below. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more photography insights and reviews.